All right, I've got 3 minutes after the hour. Why don't we get started? I think looks like we have a full house. Once again, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Chris Corner. We're going to be talking a little bit today about the benefits of the Printronix genuine factory parts, our refurbished parts, and then our technical certification programs that we'll be introducing in November. I want to thank you for your time today. We really do appreciate it. Interesting. There we go. So today's agenda, we're going to do a little Q&A and CompleteCare wrap-up, like a recap of last month. Fanny's going to take care of that for us. Fanny is our service sales representative. She's been around for 25 years on the team. She knows more about Printronix services than collectively we probably all do. She's our guru. We're then follow it up with the Printronix genuine spares, factory refurbished spares with Mark Mindorf. Mark has also got around 25 years in the business, the last 7 with Printronix, and he's leading a leading representative of our product development team. And then I'm going to talk about our Printronix technical certification program, and then I'll wrap it up with why the Printronix genuine service program is the best solution for your customers. Let me set the stage. A month ago, we had our first partner webinar. And we brought to you our new collateral. We brought to you our new service, genuine service program. And what we referenced and stressed was our core offerings, our service offerings, the service pack, the maintenance agreement, extended parts coverage, which was new, and CompleteCare, which was new. We talked in depth about that. We talked in depth about our additional services, the preventive maintenance on site, the e-cycle, time material, etc. And then finally, we talked to quite a degree on our significant differentiator, which is our service portal. And that's the portal that's your contract and your technical support management tool, which is it's a tool used by our distributors, used by our resellers, and hopefully used by your end users. Off to the right, you can see on the bottom, we've created, and we discussed all the different flyers, all the different flyers, all the collateral that we created, which should help you bring these type of offerings to your customer. So today what I want to do is we had a short Q&A session at the back end of that call, and everybody was a little bit quiet. Over the course of the month, we've received multiple questions about what we announced last month, and they all kind of boiled into 3 different areas. And all 3 areas really resided in that service offerings. So my takeaway from that is we should recap the fundamental offerings that we're providing. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Fanny. And Fanny, if you would give us a start.
Yes. So one of the questions that we received is, what is the difference between a service pack and a maintenance agreement? And I'll go into detail a little bit, but let's take a look at the second and third question. Chris, if you could. A very great question was, what is the extended parts coverage? And then why is CompleteCare different from what you guys were doing before? So let's go ahead into the next page. So if we look at the outline, we've got Printronix service packs, maintenance agreements, and extended parts agreements, along with multi-vendor maintenance. Chris, if you can give us the first screen. Printronix service agreements are really just a stock part number. It's what you're going to sell with your printer, and you have 90 days to purchase that. It's not customizable. It is very rigid. So you either buy a 1-year, a 3-year, or a 5-year, and it is all next business day. If you look at a maintenance agreement, that's where you can get into your customizations. You can purchase it at any time. You can purchase it in many levels of support. It's not a skewed up. You can buy a 1-year, a 2-year. You can buy a 3-month if you're looking to prorate that for your customer. If you're looking to upgrade the services to a 4-hour or 7x24. So the main difference between a service pack and a maintenance agreement is the customization of that program. Now, the one that we want to take a little more look into is the extended parts service agreement.
I have a question on that Printronix maintenance agreement. One of the issues that comes to us frequently is I have multiple contracts. My customers find it difficult to manage. I find it difficult to manage. What can we do?
Yes. So if you've got 3 or 4 different maintenance agreements or contract numbers, let's say, at time of renewal, we can do a lot of consolidation, which now turns into a maintenance agreement where you can prorate them to all have the same similar end dates. Even if there's different product series and different levels of support, you may have one contract that expires in March that has next business day. You might have one that expires in June, that's 7/24, and one that expires in September, that is an extended parts service. All of those can be combined into one maintenance agreement. So that's part of the customization. We can always take that at the time of renewal to consolidate everything into one maintenance agreement.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Thanks. The question
Sure.
I get so often is, I just want to make them coterminous. So I think thanks for explaining that.
Sure, absolutely. Now, the extended parts service agreements. So let's say you have a customer today that you are providing your own solution for them. You're the face of that customer, but you want to be able to not have to stock inventory on parts. Chris, if you can have the bubble pop in. So when you want to be able to support your customer, but you don't want to keep inventory on those parts, you can take advantage of our extended parts service agreement. It includes the parts and it includes tech support. It's purchasable in a 1 year, a 2 year, or a 3 year. And it is tied to a certified, the certification that Chris will be talking about later. But if there is an account where you're really involved in and you don't want to have another technician coming in, but that technician is certified, you are eligible to purchase the extended parts service agreement. It does include the part and it includes the shipping of the part. It includes all the parts. So it includes the tractors, it includes the sensors, it includes the shuttle. So it does help you keep your inventory down if you're looking to manage that. And then the next option was the multi-vendor maintenance agreement. That's what we used to call it. That's now what we are now calling CompleteCare by Printronix. Go ahead and go to the next screen. So the main difference between what we were providing before, which was the multi-vendor services, and CompleteCare, is that we now have dedicated services and we are actually putting materials and collateral to the program to help it succeed. In the past, if as Chris mentioned, I've been with the organization for many years, and my main focus has always been the Printronix brand, the line matrix, and at the time, whatever product series we were having. And as a sidebar, we were offering multi-vendor services, mostly on Zebra printers. We've now restructured the department for success. You have me completely designated to multi-vendor services. That is a dedicated resource. With that, we've enhanced the service portal. So when you are covered with CompleteCare, you can also use your service portal to manage printer calls, printer inventory, when are my contracts expiring. All of that's going to be in the service portal. And the items that we are covering are serial printers, line printers, laser printers, rugged mobile devices. We're even getting into media and consumables. So if you have a Zebra customer that needs a Zebra, they need labels and they need a print head, we would be able to provide that complete solution for them. If you have a customer that has a HP printer that they're used to getting a per click cost, I would be able to assist you with that. And just rest assured that just like we want to have certified technicians working on a Printronix brand, we do use certified technicians to work on the other brands. So the Honeywells, the Zebras, the Satos, all those technicians have the manufacturer certifications, and we trust that as part of our complete solution for our customers. The next screen, please. So as I mentioned, we did put a lot of efforts into our portal as well as collateral. So we have a brand new flyer specifically for CompleteCare by Printronix. We wanted to have a separate flyer for the services, right? We've always had the regular Printronix service, and then there was like a little blurb at the very end that said, we provide multi-vendor services. we are dedicating the resources and creating a co-branded flyer for you. If you look on the bottom right corner, it has the Printronix phone number on there as well as our website. That is a spot that you can override. And Chris, if you can show the section, that section can be co-branded. So if you are coming into a customer and saying, look, Printronix is now offering a complete solution for you. We can do that laser, we can do that thermal, we can do that line printer. Here's the collateral for it. And we're working hand in hand with Printronix. You could add your logos, your phone numbers, so that you are the face of that Printronix Complete Care. And I'm also including into the presentation, if you can do the next click, on the top right corner, that link, if you're trying to get a hold of this flyer, you can download it. It is included in our general website. So you can go into our website and look for it, or you can go back to this flyer, to this presentation and click on the button. Chris, if you can do that just so they can see where it's taking them to. It's going to take you to our Complete Care landing page, which has all the information for Complete Care. And I'll just take a quick moment. So you've scrolled down a little bit. You will see that right there, if you want to stop, it does give you some notes on how what the communication to the customer will be. And it also gives you the download Complete Care Service PDF right there. So you can download that and then co-brand it, put your name on it and show that you're working with Printronix. Now, we can go back to the flyer. One of the main points of Complete Care and why it's becoming so successful is that our customers want to have a single source, a single vendor. They're having confusion when they're placing a service call, and we're noticing that with some of the other brands. We are getting calls from customers asking about supporting their Zebra printer. And that turns into a conversation. Obviously, it turns into a lead, but it turns into a conversation of how much time are our customers wasting by trying to figure out who to call when their printer is broken. And with Complete Care, obviously, they've got one throat to choke. They can hold Printronix reliable. One of our customers had the best compliment. And they told me as we were doing our surveys, which we discussed last time, they said, you're the only service provider we don't have to worry about. And that is such a powerful statement because that leads into, well, what else can we support for you so that you don't have to worry about those either? So Printronix Complete Care by Printronix is a great program, and I really hope you guys are all involved. And if there's anything you need, any pricing or any customizations, please feel free to reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you.
Fanny, thank you. I want to stress one point. As we've been working with our partners and resellers, we continue to receive, this is what we do with our end user. Our end user is using your line matrix or your SIDM or your Complete Care printer this way. What they're not saying, and what I'm not hearing enough of, is there's other work that I don't do at my end user. My end user has multiple partners that they work with. All end users do. But this gives you the opportunity to look at that other business and you become the service provider for the customer. So your end user now relies upon you for your LMP, your SIDM, or what other services you're providing. But in addition, they now depend upon you for their complete service care. So we're putting you in the position of power to try to drive more business with the same accounts, hopefully, or that's the goal of it. So Fanny, thank you.
Chris.
Appreciate you taking us
Yes,
through that.
absolutely. And I would actually like to add something because you just touched on something that's very important. One of the tools that we provided in our last call was the service portal. We took a lot of time to walk you through how to open calls, how to run reporting, and how powerful that tool is. And I want to stress that with your non-Printronix branded printers in the portal, you've now increased your power to talk to that customer, not just on the Printronix brand, but on every single call that they have for every single printer that they have. I mean, this really reinforces the communication that you can have with your customer. Even if they don't have a Printronix printer, you can still leverage that portal. If they have all Intermec and that's CompleteCare, that's going to go into your portal. That portal is going to be able to provide you all the reporting you need to have that constant communication and tie yourself to that customer.
Good addition, Fanny. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, with that, let's move into the two topics that we need to discuss that we didn't have time to discuss last time, which was our genuine spares, our refurbished spares. And Mark?
Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. And I know there's some familiar folks on the line, so I just want to say I sure hope everyone is well, and glad that you could join us today. So I'm just going to take a few quick minutes of your time to talk about some of the things we're doing with spare parts that are new and different. You know, our organization, in addition to, as you can tell, obviously, in addition to putting a tremendous amount of resource and focus and time into boosting up our service organization and our quality and delivery of service, we're also going to do more to focus on spares, what we're calling our factory parts, and our factory refurbished parts. And this here just shows you the logos that go with those and our brochure. And what I'm going to do now, just real quick, is Chris, we can go to the next slide and just click through these as I talk through them. But I'm just going to, let's just walk through the brochure real quick. So first and foremost, the quality of service, or the quality of any printer in general, is only equal to the sum of the parts. So if the parts going in are not genuine factory quality parts, obviously the customer is going to pay the price, and so are our service providers at the end of the day. So first and foremost is genuine factory parts. Second, Chris, if you can click through, is the fact that it's a number of things. One is our parts are engineered to meet very stringent quality standards, and they're proven to perform under extreme usage conditions, because that's where a bulk of our base lies, is in environmental conditions where the quality of those parts is super critical to them functioning in the environments. And so that third is the testing that goes into the parts that we sell, and then last is the warranty that comes along with them. Now, 1 year factory warranty for new parts, and then 90 days for genuine refurbished parts, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then the last is the fact, if you can click one more, Chris, is the fact that our factory is ISO 9001 certified, which means that we are held to a high standard. Our processes are held to a very high standard. So everything that comes out of our factory must meet that standard, and that trickles all the way down to the shuttle assemblies we sell, the controller boards, all the other parts that we sell have to rise to the standard of running an ISO 9001 factory. Okay, so go to the next slide, Chris. This is an actual example of a shuttle that we bought, a refurbished shuttle that we bought off the open market to do an analysis on. And so this is a live example, and basically the analysis that our team performed shows that there were multiple issues with this refurbished shuttle that came from another third-party source. One, some of the screws were over-tightened. Two, one of the fret assemblies was not aligned properly. So just between these two things can lead to premature failures, quality issues, etc. That's just going to lead to more cost from a service maintenance standpoint, and more customer sat issues due to, suffering print quality and premature failure. So that just a live example here of a part that we pulled out of the open market and analyzed, and it shows that we're dealing with very, very high precision mechanics in terms of these shuttles and the hammer bank assemblies and whatnot. And so if they're not done right, it's going to lead to problems. So Chris, let's go to the last slide on this
Yeah,
thing
I
in here.
just, I
So
just want to stress that it's not always counterfeit consumables that concerns you. It's our reputation. And if
right,
it's your end user, it's your reputation. It's our
right.
reputation together. Um, so it's not just consumables. We see this with our parts too.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And since you said that, Chris, honestly, I myself, and I know Chris has, and I'm sure Fanny has, you know, I myself have talked with customers even just in recent months that are fed up with service that is not our service, but service coming from other places where they know for a fact refurbished shuttles are being put in the printers and it's inconsistent quality. In fact, the new shuttle that go or the refurb shuttle that goes in may only last a month, 2 months. It's they don't know. So anyway, we see these issues occurring and we're stepping up to the plate in a couple different ways to help you sell and utilize genuine factory parts from Printronix. One is on the highest usage parts, which are shuttles, controller boards, power supplies, and hammer bank assemblies. We took a price action effective October 13th to reduce the price of those key components by 10%. Why did we do that? The reason we did that was to help make those key components more competitive and more attractive to enable other service providers and customers to purchase new. Um, and then let me walk you through some of the other things that we're doing to boost up our spare parts support. One is we're increasing our spare parts inventory levels. I myself was on with Dorena yesterday on this topic. I mean, you know, she's boosting up our inventory to make sure that we have adequate parts at all times. In addition, we talked about the 12-month warranty on the new parts. And one of the most significant things, and this really goes out to Dorena and the whole team, her whole team that made this happen, which is frankly amazing. But getting set up on the new 3PL, which was done this summer, the work they did there was incredible. And the result of that is going to help everyone in terms of the new 3PL that we now are operating out of offers way more flexibility. In the words of Dorena, it's more like a boutique 3PL in that they're very flexible. So what does that mean for you? It means faster shipping. It means we can ship parts out when we get, you know, at later points in the day. So instead of needing to get orders in by, let's say, 11 a.m., we can potentially ship out same day if we get orders in by 2 p.m., for example. So it gives us a much bigger window of getting parts out same day. And plus we have real-time EDI. One of the problems with our other 3PL was we didn't have real-time EDI. So even our customer support team couldn't always say what we had in inventory and what we didn't at any given point in time. So much improved situation there thanks to the work of Dorena and team. Next, we have our logos and brochures, obviously, to help you promote the new genuine spare parts. And thanks to the work that Patricia and others did on the spare parts price list, we have a brand new spare parts price list that was sent out that's categorized. And so it's much easier to read, it's easier to use, and that those reduced prices that I talked about earlier are baked into that new list that was sent out on the 13th. And then last on this segment here is spares can now be ordered online via the Printronix store. So this is another huge step in the right direction. Simplifies your life in terms of, you know, getting and placing orders for spares. You can just use our online store to do that. Now, I want to give you, before I turn this back to Chris, I want to give you a heads up on something that's quickly coming down the line, and that is factory refurbished shuttles. It's something that we're actively working on. We're going to hopefully have something launched in the November-December timeframe. And basically what it's going to be is we're going to go out with a set of P8 and P7C refurbished shuttles of all speeds. And we're going to have two options. We're going to have one to just purchase a refurbished shuttle without requiring the core to come back. And then we're going to have a lower cost option to purchase a factory refurbished shuttle that requires a core to come back. So this will give you a massive benefit where, for whatever reason, if you want or need to rely on refurbished shuttles, and you recognize the importance of getting a factory refurbished shuttle as opposed to one like what we showed you earlier that comes from another source, we're going to give you the option to do that at competitive prices and with 90-day warranties. And we look forward to sharing more with you about that over the next month or so. So with that, Chris, if there's nothing else, I'll turn it back to you.
So just to make sure I reiterate this correctly, a factory part new holds a 1-year warranty from the time of purchase. And a factory refurbished part holds a 90-day warranty. Is that
Correct.
the difference?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay.
So we look forward to bringing those refurbished shuttles out, and again, you'll hear more from us soon on that.
Yeah, no, I've been privy to the cost, or what we expect the cost of these refurbished shuttles, and what we expect the core, and the core is aggressive. The goal is to ensure that all cores come back to Printronix, so that not only can we seed our own refurbished program, but we eliminate the third party out there. We eliminate the knockoff by using it and trying to refurbish it themselves. So if we can keep that, keep those cores coming in and through our doors, we can continue the refurbished program. We can continue doing it at a good rate, a good price for you. And then of course, cut back of the third party that just ends up hurting us in the long run.
Yeah, and Chris, if I could say, I mean, that just makes us all look good at the end of the day. I mean, every single one of us, it makes us look good in front of the customer if we can do that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let me take the last section. I'm going to talk to you about technical certification programs. So I know most of you on the phone today attending, but for those that don't, let me inform you that I am not the most technical person. I am the director of service, sales, and technical support. But when it comes to technical support, I've got roughly 25 years myself working with maintenance sales, and technicians. I'm not the technical guy. I understand customer sat. I understand your position with customer sat, our position with customer sat. And then I clear hurdles for the true technicians, the true intelligence behind our product, our level 3 technicians, our technical support product manager, and that crew. But I will walk you through a new program that we're releasing. It's new to the Americas. It's new to the US and Canada. It's not new to Latin America, and I'll explain. In November, we will be launching our first Printronix Certified Technician Training Program to our partners. This is for our partners that this will allow you basically to grow into becoming a full self-service solution for your customers. For our partners that are already providing technical support, generally that's local, but for the partners that provide technical support, this will be of interest to you. The certification program will address our LMP Level 1 and our SIDM certification. For our partners already providing that type of support to their customers, this is going to allow you to understand the intricacies, the real inside juice as to how our manufacturer out in Malaysia, the Printronix manufacturing plant, trains us and trains our technicians, and how our level 3 then takes that training and delivers it into the real world. So it's going to allow you to move forward, becoming certified, so that your end user understands they're getting the best part, so that as a service provider yourself, you're not throwing parts at a solution, you're actually analyzing and digesting what's taking place and then putting the correct part in. Certification not only builds your credentials, but it also, in the long run, will lower your cost of support for that end user. And then if you partner that with that offering that Fanny talked about earlier, the extended parts coverage, where you pay one price for a period of time, whatever part it takes for that period of time, we're going to provide that part. It's a win-win situation for yourself. Currently, as you can see on the third line, we will address LMP level 1 and SIDM certification. But post-COVID, we will launch a second certification, which will take our LMP to level 2. Unfortunately, that requires on-site training, so that's why it's going to be post-COVID. Again, certification will allow you to bring it up to manufacturer specifications, meeting all of your end users' needs. And with the last bullet there, this isn't new to us. This training isn't new. We've been doing it for many years. There's 2 different models in Printronix as to how technical support is provided. You're familiar with the US, the Canadian model, which is actually what our India geo is based upon, where we have a number of service providers that provide us support, very close partnership with them. And they do a tremendous job, but we have the ability, specifically in certain regions, to choose which vendor we would like to support. Some are certified in some non-Printronix hardware where we will engage them to do certain work for you, etc. But in Latin America, in all other geos of the world outside of US, Canada, and India, our partners are the service providers. Our partners cannot sell our hardware unless they can provide the support in that region. So the program itself isn't new. The program itself is new just to the US and Canada. Level 1 certification, the target is all partners that would like to become certified. It's 2 days or 16 hours of training. We would have introduced this about 90 days ago if it wasn't for COVID. We've had to take our on-site training, specifically just level 1. We had to move it into a Zoom session. So it's going to be a little different for us as we provide it, but it's going to be extremely interactive. It's a very good session, and we're actually going to be providing this session next week as kind of a trial run with a partner down in Peru. There will be a level 1 testing certificate issuance. You'll get this little badge down in the corner down there so that you can use that logo. You can advertise it. You have to pass a test. It's not just giving it to you. It's like you have to have a 90%. We've trained new technicians in at Printronix, and I've seen technicians come in and score 75 and 80. It's not an easy test. You will get grilled. But we won't let you fail. If you don't pass it the first time, we'll work with it and you'll pass it the second time. We've had nobody had to take it a third time, put it that way. There is an audit every 2 years, which means we'll have to have a recertification. There's a cost to that recertification. Again, it allows you to use the level 1 certificate, which will show at the end, and the logo. It's $1,200. That excludes trainer travel. That obviously in Zoom doesn't matter right now, but eventually if you'd like to have this type of training at your location with a greater number of individuals, we can take care of that. And of course, it's mandatory. If you want to be certified, it's mandatory to take the course. Now, I am working with finance currently, and hopefully by mid-November, we'll be able to announce this. But that $1,200 will be offset by the spare parts that you would be purchasing, and that's most likely going to be in an additional discount until that $1,200 is met. So if you're serious about becoming certified, you will be using the parts, even if it's an extended parts coverage, and you will get a percentage of that back until it's the certification then would be free of charge. Training topics in level 1, standard installation, configuration, spec knowledge. It's just basic menu functions, troubleshooting, up-to-date changes. Once again, this side of the table, I'm not as familiar with. For the technical people on the phone call, you're going to understand what I'm talking about here. We have the same type of training for the SIDM machine. So now you have the ability, in fact, with the SIDM machine, there is only one level. There's level 1, which means there's no add-on there. There's nothing further. You'll be as juiced as our level 3, just without the worldly experience, real life experience. But we'll get you there. The SIDM training's less. We do it in 1 day. It's 8 hours of training. If your organization needs to split that 8 hours up into a couple days or even 3 days, we can do that for you. It just requires the full 8 hours. Again, conducted over Zoom training, another test, another certification. With the SIDM, it's got to be 100%. We've had More of our technicians have passed this at 100% than the LMP, which is more in depth. So don't let the 100% scare you. This is a good program and we'll get you there. Audit every 2 years. This program is a little less expensive at $850. And once again, it's only available for partners that currently have in-house support technicians. Same thing on the training topics, very similar to what you saw in level 1 for the LMP. Level 2 takes us a little bit deeper. We haven't set a price for level 2 yet because it is on site, but most likely it's going to be around $2,500. This takes us much, much deeper into root cause analysis. You see Hammerbank on the other side. You see network tracing, emulations. This takes you into an area where generally our partners providing service support are giving us a call from a level 3 if they're not certified. Our certified partners in the US generally do not need to use our level 3. So we're going to bring you there. And then finally, this is our Printronix certificate. It's pretty fancy. We'll put a frame on it and send it to you so you can hang it on your wall. But more important than this certificate, it's going to be that logo so that you can use that logo when you promote your services. It's going to be there for you. So that wraps up today's conversation. It was a little bit shorter than last month. We had so much to tell you last month. If we could have squeezed these last few subjects in, we would have, but we just couldn't keep you for 2 hours or a half business day. So if I wrap this up before we have a little Q&A, number 1, where Fanny started, introduce CompleteCare to your multi-vendor accounts and put yourself in the position to become their solution, their service solution, not their specific product service solution. You become the service solution. When they need technical support, they look at you. There's a number of partners they're probably working with on different hardware, but you can become that person. And that's what we want to become for you, for exactly how you should want to become that for your partner or for your end user. The other item that's a big difference is engage with your accounts with the service portal. It's absolutely a fantastic tool. And that service portal is set up so that if a distributor sells to a reseller, the distributor can understand what's going on. The reseller sells to the end user, the reseller can see their end users and what's going on. And the end user, of course, can only see their own work. From a reseller standpoint, within that service portal, and Fanny touched on this heavily last month when we had our webinar, you can see the active service calls open. For example, if you have 10 end users that you have service with us, you'll be able to see all 10 end users, contracts, hardware, pricing, contract start dates, and the number of service calls, the history under each one of the printers by serial. More importantly, that I find from a sales perspective is the page that actually gives you the active service calls. If you go to the office in the morning, hit that first thing, you might have 1, 2, 3 customers or end users that actually have an active service call. And that gives you the opportunity to call that customer. What's going on? What happened? What took place? If it's a printer that's into year 6, 7, 8, you possibly have a replacement opportunity. So it opens up doors for you just because of communication. The more we communicate our technical support to you, the more you can relay that right back to your customer. And from a service perspective, from the processes we've put in place over the last 2 years to the way we're running our business, we're okay with being transparent. Technical service has warts. There will be warts. There will be service calls. When you're running, 6,500 service calls every 6 months, there's going to be some warts. But we're okay with that because we're confident in our process. We're confident in treating your end user correctly. So what this does is it opens up doors for you to get in there and have a conversation regularly with your accounts. Share our service collateral. Take advantage of the co-branding. There's no reason. If you're going to become the one-stop shop, then you can use what we've already invested in over this past year to make it happen. You don't need to do that yourself. It's right here for you. We'll co-brand that, and you can start spreading the word. We didn't touch on this today, but we talked a lot about this. Ron Gillies, our Senior Vice President, talked about this. The service performance guarantee. There's simply no stronger guarantee in the business. If you have an LMP, you have P8, if you have your SIDM machine, if you have the latest tally, if we can't fix it in 3 times, if there's 3 service calls within 1 year, they will be eligible for a printer replacement. It's just that simple. We're going to look at it. If it's 3 separate cases, we're going to ask for another chance, of course. If it's 3 of the exact same issue, it's going to be a no-brainer. We will replace that machine. Now, after today's conversation, you can highlight the Printronix spares and the factory refurbished spares. As Mark introduced, it's new. Eventually, we will have holographics. We will have different coding right within some of our parts so that when you receive them, when your customer receives them, when we put them in, you can tell that they're genuine. There's a strong warranty on our parts. There's a strong warranty on our factory refurbished parts. And without a doubt, we have seen the benefits to this type of work as it does reduce the print downtime. It does extend the life of the printer, which from a sales perspective isn't always the greatest, but it adds confidence into your customer. So where you might extend the refresh, you're also gaining other print hardware. So it's not a negative to extend the life of these printers. It's a negative not to have this type of hardware going in to try to extend it and keep your end users happy, because you will get more business if we deliver the right goods, basically. And then finally, if you are a service provider, reach out to me, reach out to Fanny, reach out to Mark, talk to us about certification training. If you have any interest in this as we begin to launch this program, it's not for everybody, but there are a number of our close partners that do provide service that can take advantage of this. If you have any questions on that, don't hesitate. Give us a shout. And finally, to end this, we've got a real unique landscape going today. We've never seen it before, and flying solo is tougher today than it's ever been before. Working together, we can win. With that said, why don't I open, how do I do that? I'm going to open this up for questions and answers. Lydia, can you help me? How do I open up the discussion? Here we go.
Did you find it?
I did. Thank you.
Okay.
I am allowing everybody to talk. So if you have your children or your dogs in the room, beware, we can hear them. Are there any questions? None? Pretty quiet. Albert, David, no questions? Doug? Okay, that's all right. We're going to let you go a little early today. We did get through the topics that we wanted to talk about today. They were, again, we would have done this last month if we could have, but we just had too much to talk about. And I'd much rather have a quick gathering to give you the updates and do it more often. We won't have another one of these next month, nor do we have one in December. But I do see in the first quarter, probably mid-January, we'll be promoting another webinar and just keep you up to date with what Printronix is doing, where we're going, where our goals are set, and then hopefully we are aligned with where your goals are set. So with that, I will end today's webinar. I very much appreciate your time, everybody. Thank you for joining. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.